Hey Capricorns, I hope you guys are doing great. We are here to do your Mercury retrograde reading. We're going to take a peek at the energies that's surrounding you over the next few weeks, things that you need to be mindful of, all of that good stuff. So let's jump right in and start with the overall energy that's surrounding this reading for you right now. And we have new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. So there might be a little bit of a sense, Capricorn, that the things that you've been putting your effort into, the things that you've been putting your energy into are not working out. Like you haven't necessarily seen the results that you have been looking for, but it feels as though there's a little bit of changing of the tides, right? There's a shift in energy, in that all of these seeds that you've been planting up until this point, it's their season to start blooming. It's almost your season of harvest. So even if you haven't seen, sort of big dramatic changes from everything that you've been doing, it does feel like if you were to stop where you are right now and look back, then you can actually see how far you've come, even if it hasn't felt like it. So I have this sense, Capricorn, that, you may have been looking for fireworks and what you got is a bunch of little sparklers, right? And that doesn't mean that there hasn't been anything that's happening. It just may not have been sort of that big explosion that you were hoping for. That doesn't mean that you're not on the right track. It doesn't mean that you haven't been doing the right things. It may just mean that things have been unfolding a little bit differently than you imagined that they would when you first started on this journey. So what this retrograde has in store for you is we have the Four of Swords. So when things were a little bit quiet, that's where they've sort of been right now. There's a sense of perceived stagnancy. I don't necessarily know that that was the case, but I do feel like there is going to be a slow awakening. There's going to be a bit of a slow ramp up where you're actually going to be able to see the results that you've been looking for. We have the Four of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Blasted Tower in reverse. So Four of Swords is a period of quiet. Not much is going on. It's a very sort of restful time. And we have that combined with the Tower in reverse, which indicates more of a slow change. When the Tower's upright, it's something that's dramatic. It's something that happens very quickly, very suddenly, very unexpectedly. I don't think that the fruits of your labor are unexpected because you've been putting in that work, operating under the assumption that it's going to pay off. And we have that with Spirit. Your hard work is paying off, but it's more of a gradual build than you were expecting. That doesn't mean that things are not happening for you. It is. And I feel, Capricorn, like I'm getting a little bit excited because it's like, it's like this slow burn, right? It's almost like a roller coaster that seems to take forever to get to the top. And then once you get over that crest, it's like you go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. So I feel like this has been a very slow buildup for you, but you're going to start seeing things picking up very shortly. It seems as though there have been a couple of interruptions, right? When it comes to this work that you've been putting in. And this could be for a project. This could be at an actual job. This could be in a relationship. So, I think that there's going to be a little bit of a disruption for you in terms of your stability, in terms of this new beginning. I don't feel like it's a bad disruption though. I think, again, with this sort of slow burn, with this ramp up that you've been experiencing, when it hits, it's going to be like, oh, wow. Okay. Because you've been so accustomed to things moving slowly or seeming like they're not moving at all, that when it picks up, it's like, woo, okay. And with the Two of Wands, that's my crossroads card, right? So this is you all of a sudden, I think, started sort of being thrust on this path after this period of very slow buildup. You are going to find yourself sort of diverging from where it was you were before. So that it's going to be a bit of an interruption, but I don't think that it's a negative one. I do not think that it's bad at all. Now, there's going to be, again, a little bit of a shift that happens during this retrograde. We have the Princess of Cups in reverse, and we also have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So I almost feel like this is something that you are shifting away from what you've been sort of accustomed to in the past, that where maybe you have been giving your effort and energy to a certain person or situation. There's going to be, I think, again, you're setting yourself on a different path. And I feel as though that's going to require you to pull back your energy from other people or situations that you have been in before that did not necessarily lend itself to you being stable in your own life. It feels as though this may be the ending of toxic relationships or toxic situations that you have slowly started working yourself out of. It almost feels as though, and this may be for some of you out there, where there may have been some challenges that you have had with self-esteem or understanding your self-worth. I do think that over the past year, when the world has been a little bit quiet, you've been taking that time to really focus on yourself, building yourself up, figuring out who it is that you are at your core and what it is that you want out of life. And I feel like all of that work that you've been putting in is going to culminate in you leaving people behind. That you are going to stop bending over backwards for other people, that you are no longer going to be in a place where people use you as sort of their emotional dumping grounds, things of that nature. So Capricorn, this feels like a bit of an internal journey when I see these cards. So, you know, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant. This is all about stability. This is foundation. This is institution. So I think that this shift that you're going to see is you taking your energy, taking your power back from these people and situations that weren't necessarily the best for you, and you laying a new foundation in your own life, something that's going to be much longer lasting, something that's very healthy, something that's very stable for you, which is not a bad thing at all. But I want for you, Capricorn, to be a little bit mindful of this card, the Ten of Wands in reverse. So this is burden, right? The Ten of Wands. There's a need for you to release. There is absolutely a need for you to release. And I feel like that's that final step in your hard work paying off, where you've sort of gotten back to yourself. You have come into this awareness about who you are and what you want your life to look like. And there are some things that no longer fit that new narrative. So I feel like Spirit is saying that it's important for you to sort of take stock on what belongs in this new life for you and what no longer serves you. And we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. There are some people, Capricorn, that are not going to be able to come with you on this journey. People that, you know, you had hoped, I think, would be long-lasting relationships. People that you hoped at some point would be on your team, would be for you, would be encouraging, supporting, uplifting, affirming, all of that good stuff. But I feel like Spirit is saying that it may be time for you to release them. It may be time for you to release those situations. Let it go. Because what we see here in how this retrograde could be helpful, this is a new start for you. The Ace of Wands. This is something exciting and amazing and affirming and uplifting and everything that those prior people and situations were not. And if you hadn't worked on yourself, then this opportunity would not be coming for you. And I do feel like there's this sense that with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, without making those changes, this new beginning, this fresh start, this energy was not going to be able to come in for you because there was too much clutter taking up that space. But Capricorn, this is glorious. This feels like you have put a lot of effort into reshaping your life and what you want that to look like. And now comes the time, if you want to see the end of those changes, that you're going to have to make the decision to cut some people out. You're going to have to make the decision to leave them behind. And it's interesting because on the bottom of the deck, we have be decisive. So this is entirely up to you, Capricorn. Wow. This is 100% within your reach. And what we have for the final card from Spirit, we have Imagine Solutions. So again, I think that the big challenge that you're facing right now is how to get over this hump, how to sort of accelerate this slow momentum, this slow energy that you've been in. And I think that if you sit down and think about the things, people, places that have been holding you back, then you're going to come up with those solutions. You're going to start brainstorming. What do I need to do to get out of this? Who is here for me? What situations in my life are no longer serving me? And what would my life look like if I cleared those things out and allowed and created space for something new to come in? So I feel like this is Spirit saying, let your imagination run wild. If you had this extra energy, this extra space in your life for something magnificent to come in, what would it be? So this is very much a card of manifesting with this newfound power that you seem to have tapped into, Capricorn. But make sure that you clear space for this new start, for this excitement, for this Ace of Wands to come in. You hold the key to all of the changes that you want to see in your life, but understand that you've done a ton of work and it's been worth every second. You are almost there. You just have to get over that crest. So I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that this was helpful and I hope that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs.